This is Group 5's presentation of the Walt Disney Company corporate strategy. We found that Disney's primary drivers of success included, first of all, Walt Disney's corporate theory. Walt Disney leverages animation to create a network of valuable revenue streams. Development of these complementary themes led to the creation of animated films to generate complementary sales of merchandise and theme park attractions. Further, Disney has leveraged theme parks, expanding them to include hotels, entertainment, and convention facilities. We take away lessons for sustaining growth. Firstly, Disney understands its position and direction. It had the insight to identify opportunities to leverage unique assets, cross-site to discover complementary opportunities, and foresight to understand what assets will prove valuable to consumers. Walt Disney's theory of value creation helped to identify animation as a unique asset and coupled animation with merchandise and theme parks. Disney was able to visualize future potential for the Disney empire. It was the complementary assets that, when exploited, it enhanced each other.
So was this the right decision for the company to reject the hostile takeover? Thinking about the theory behind strategy, we can see that yes, salvaging parts of the business and taking apart the films and the theme parks, spawning them off, wouldn't have led to the same kind of advantage that Stephen explained that they would have had. Also, in 1984, the stock market's low expectations for Disney created a unique opportunity for Eisner to find unexpected value so that he could lead his company to a big turnaround, returning a solid 1,200% from the period of 1984 to 1993.
Disney is able to create value across all three major business areas that Stephen touched on through innovative synergies that are different than any other production company. Disney creates actual experiences for consumers and ties into their lives and encourages a lifelong loyal following. For example, Beauty and the Beast here was released in 1991, and books, apparel, dolls, tea sets, and more consumer products coordinated with the initial theatrical release, but they continue to fill store shelves today. You can buy a wedding gown to help you feel like Belle on your wedding day, and you'll still see the characters on Broadway. You'll see them at Disney parks. You'll see them in current marketing campaigns, as we see below here with Penelope Cruz and Jeff Bridges. And next year, or the year after that, you'll see them again in a live-action movie starring Emma Watson. So 20 years after the initial release of the cartoon, they're still promoting the storyline and generating value from these characters. So their innovation goes far beyond traditional cross-promotion, and they have internal marketing positions that are dedicated to making sure that the release and all the parts associated with it are consistent. And there's organizational collaboration within departments. For example, when Disney Pixar was creating the film Planes, the filmmakers would meet regularly with the designers of consumer products to make sure that every piece would fit together.
So this brings up the question of whether or not Eisner and Lee's 20% growth target is sustainable. And before I speak on what strategies they can employ to continually hit that 20% target, I just wanted to talk about some negative and positive factors that the piece discussed facing the company. First is that the film library has been exhausted. They've kind of recycled these films that they've made previously, so they're kind of seeing a ceiling on the profitability of these movies in their library. Secondly, they've had this recent lackluster stock performance. One of the reasons could be Euro Disney. That attraction just outside of Paris has overwhelmingly underperformed. Another difficulty facing Eisner and Lee is managing the relationships between all of these successful entities within Disney. You also have analysts that are projecting a downturn in their growth capability. So on the positive side, Disney is set to release an all-time high of 40 films over the next few years. And these films create synergies with other divisions, as I'll talk a little bit more about in the next slide. But they've hit this. They've hit this 20% growth target market. And one of the reasons why they've done this is that it's annualized over a 5-year period, so you can account for some downturn, like the piece discussed with the downturn of the economy in the early 90s. They recovered nicely and still hit that 20% growth target. In addition, the domestic theme parks have just been stellar performers, and that's where the majority of the profit in Disney's company comes from, is these domestic theme parks. And analysts are indicating that tourism is picking up, which really helps there. And to speak on these successful divisions within Disney, is that really a bad problem to have, managing successful divisions? I mean, if I was a CEO, that would be a problem that I would gladly take on. So to talk about the two strategies that they can employ to maintain and continue to hit this 20% growth market. One is Disney is in a unique position where they can manufacture a competitive advantage. Not a lot of companies can do this. And I kind of liken this to pharmaceutical companies, where they have a research and development department, just like Disney. In Disney, their R&D is their movies. They put these movies out, and not all of them are hits, but the ones that do, they reach the synergy across all divisions where they can do franchising, merchandising. I'm sorry, not franchising, but merchandising and licensing. They can create toys. Like Bailey had mentioned, they can do live action plays. There's so many adaptations. They can have theme park attractions. So whenever they do have a hit, the ability to maximize the profit is almost exponential, because they can just keep churning out these hits after hits. The second thing, and I think one of the most important things, is they need to continue their intelligent diversification. In the past, they've kind of stayed within their wheelhouse with purchasing television broadcasting companies, Broadway productions to house their plays, and also Hollywood records. So when Disney creates a soundtrack to their movies, they own the rights. They bring in these stars to do the recording, but Disney owns the rights to these songs through their Hollywood records. So they did try to create a fast food restaurant, but this was on an experimentation basis, and that didn't do too well. So they closed that restaurant very, very soon after they opened it, which is the kind of the perfect way to test the market and see if they can succeed in something like that. It's a little borderline entertainment business, almost like the Mighty Ducks, the team that they purchased, but that ties into the Mighty Ducks franchise. So again, that was a successful buy, and these bad investments they've got out of very quickly. Those are the two main strategies that Disney needs to employ to continue to hit that growth market. This has been Team 5's presentation on the Walt Disney Company. Thank you.